Good morning, everybody, and welcome back to The Walk. Today is Thursday, July 25th, and we have finally made it up to chapter 4. I told you this was going to be a deep dive, that we were going to take our sweet old time. We are going to go deep. So in chapter 4, the messages about judgment against Jerusalem begins. And Ezekiel uses dramatizations to demonstrate, basically, to kind of act out these judgments. So in the Apologetic Study Bible, it had this note. Chapters 4 through 7 contain 5 messages of judgment against Jerusalem in which Ezekiel used dramatizations. This was not a new prophetic message style to those people. They were familiar with it. Earlier prophets used dramatic methods, as did Isaiah and Jeremiah. Ezekiel drew a recognizable map of Jerusalem on a clay, brick, or tile, and then played war as a young child might do. I was picturing Legos because, that's something in our modern times. He laid siege to the city using a siege wall, an earthen ramp to scale the walls, military camps around the city, battering rams, and an iron plate that probably represented the unstoppable advancing army. With these implements, he prophetically acted out the fall of Jerusalem, which would occur in 586 BC. So that's how we're starting off. We're starting off with Ezekiel acting out this siege. So in verse 1 it says, "And you, son of man, take a brick and lay it before you, and engrave on it a city, even Jerusalem." That's done to represent the siege and the resulting exile. First he reenacts it with a small model. "And put siege works against it, and build a siege wall against it, and cast a mound against it. Set camps also against it, and plant battery rams against it all around. And you, take an iron griddle, and place it as an iron wall between you and the city, and set your face toward it, and let it be a state of siege, and press the siege against it. This is a sign for the house of Israel." So that iron griddle, iron is a very strong metal. It may have represented that unbreakable strength of God. I also found in the Cultural Study Bible, it mentioned that iron was considered a precious metal. So God's strength is precious. Verse 4, "Then lie on your side and place the punishment of the house of Israel upon it. For the number of days that you lie on it, you shall bear their punishment." So in a symbolic way, this is coming from the ESV, the Fire Study Bible. In a symbolic way, it's showing the punishment for Israel and Judah's sin. Each day that he lays on his side represents 1 year of the rebellion. And then we get to verse 5. "For I assign to you a number of days, 390 days, equal to the number of the years of their punishment. So long shall you bear the punishment of the house of Israel." Okay, so that 390 corresponds to the number of years of their sin. But I got really curious about the numbers, so I started really looking into these numbers. 300 represents the world or the world to come, and 90 represents righteousness. It's the righteousness of God coming forth. Verse 6, "And when you have completed these, you shall lie down a second time, but on your right side, and bear the punishment of the house of Judah. 40 days I assign you, a day for each year." So now we know the house of Judah had 40 years of rebellion. So right away I'm thinking, what does 40 mean? It's a season or water. It's nourishment. So 390 plus 40 is 430. 400 means the cross, redemption, being able to be saved, and 30, the shepherd's staff, being led to that salvation. This correction is leading them to that salvation. Verse 7, "And you shall set your face toward the siege of Jerusalem. With your arm bared, you shall prophesy against the city. And behold, I will place cords upon you, so that you cannot turn from one side to the other till you have completed the days of your siege. And you shall take wheat, barley, beans, and lentils, millet, and emmer, and put them into a single vessel and make your bread from them. During the days that you lie on your side, 390 days, you shall eat it. So what I found is he's not breaking any dietary restrictions or breaking any dietary laws in making the bread out of these things. However, what's very interesting is that the bread that would have been produced from it is considered the worst of the kinds of bread that they could eat. It's not something that is desirable at all. It didn't have any flavor. It was very gross. Maybe it probably had flavor. It just didn't have a good flavor. So Ezekiel is like really taking in the worst of the nourishment in this demonstration with this food. Verse 10, and your food that you eat shall be by weight, 20 shekels a day. From day to day you shall eat it. 20 means the palm of God or the crown. So this is God's hand on them for that judgment. And water you shall drink by measure, a sixth part of a hin, and from day to day you shall drink it. So this represents how scarce the food and water is going to be in Jerusalem during that time. There's going to be severe famine. That 20 shekels a day is about 8 ounces of food per day. It's barely a handful, and about 8 to 10 times less than the normal food intake. So he is greatly limiting the amount he eats, and what he is eating is not something that's desirable. And he's doing all of this to show God's judgment. Have a wonderful day. God bless, and keep walking the walk.